And welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we are currently in an Audi A4. It's a 2015 plate. The customer complaint with this one is he had it into a garage for a diagnostic and they've came back saying that it might be a wiring issue, so they have forwarded over our details to him and we are going to carry out an initial assessment on it to confirm the customer's fault. So we're just going to go into Audi. We've already started sort of partially stripping stuff, but we do not know what's up with this one yet. We've got an idea and we know why it's happening, but we don't know exactly what component is at fault yet. We've just decided to start filming it just in case it makes for a good video. So we will go into engine control unit, and the engine code that we have got for this is CNHA, if that helps anyone. And we'll go on to read DTC. So we have currently got charge air cooler, coolant pump, control circuit low, heater support pump, short circuit to ground. If I can focus on that a bit better. It's not really focusing, but we'll just go to this one. Oil pressure regulation valve, short circuit to ground. And finally, cylinder head coolant valve, short circuit to ground. Now, I'm very familiar with these type of faults. There obviously is a short to ground somewhere and it's blowing the fuse, as these components more than likely share that circuit. We've had it happen before. I don't know if we've uploaded a video about it in the past before, but these fuses are hidden away, and a lot of the time people might not know that they're there. I've had that in the past as well. So first thing we're going to do is dig up a wiring diagram on HGS just to confirm that the wiring schematic is the same as the ones that I've done before and what fuse actually protects those consumers on that circuit. So HGS is the way to go. So if we go into engine, it's EDC17, and we're just going to go straight to components, and we will go to the oil pressure regulator valve, and you can see, hopefully, I don't know why this is so blurry by the way, you can see, it's because I'm not zoomed in here, I'm an idiot. So if I zoom in a bit better, without being a moron, you can see that that is our oil pressure regulation valve right there, and that shares the circuit with all these other components, and the fuse that we're interested in is SB14, which is a 5 amp. So you can also see the other things that this fuse is in charge of. So we obviously know that right here is our coolant shut-off valve. This one right here is our oil pressure regulator valve, which was in one of our fault codes. And down here is our intercooler coolant pump and our coolant pump. So we've got two coolant pumps there, which at the moment don't look like they are getting any power. So we need to go and check SB14, which is a 5 amp. So if we go into fuses and relays and we zoom in, you can see SB14 is right there. So that will not be difficult to check. Now, I've already done the stripping to get access into the fuse box on this. Now, it's very simple to get access to. I'll just try and zoom it in so you can see what I've got stripped right there. It's just the actual cover you need to take up ever so slightly, and you've got a couple of Torx bolts that you can just take out and lift the cover off, and that will give you access into these engine box fuses, because you'll not find any diagrams on Google or anything like that for these. So if you're stuck on where to look, that is where to go. So you may or may not be able to see, but in here there is actually a 10 amp fuse in its place of what's meant to be a 5 amp. Unless HGS is wrong, I highly doubt it, but it looks like there has been a 5 amp in its a 10 amp put in its place due to the fact that it's been shorting out, so that is not good. So you can see right there that our fuse is blown for that circuit, so we'll definitely not be putting another fuse in there at the minute. What we are going to do is properly test for a short to ground, so we're going to connect our bulb in series with the bulb holder, and the idea of that being is if there's a short, this bulb will light up nice and brightly. If not, then obviously we've just got a blown fuse, and there might be an intermittent short in the wiring, we don't know, but it looks to me that we've got a short in one of these consumers, and that is why the fuse is blown. So we're just going to place our 2 leads in the series with the actual fuse holder, which is pretty simple. You can just use 2 simple probes as well. Now you can see our bulb isn't lit up now, that is because the ignition isn't on. So we need to take the keys, turn the ignition on and see if that bulb lights up. So if we turn the ignition on, you can see, hopefully on camera, you can see our bulb is nice and bright, so that is our short to ground on that circuit is confirmed. So just for that test alone, we can confirm that we've definitely got a short to ground either in the wiring or one of the actual consumers on the circuit. Now, we have always had issues with the actual consumers and never really any issues with the wiring on these, so we are first going to go to the easiest part and unplug one by one, and if the light goes out, then bingo, we know that that consumer is the one that's got the short to ground. So one of the easiest things to unplug right now is just this little coolant pump, and the reason I've got my suspicion on this, can you see the coolant kind of seeping out of there? So this is the one that I always unplug first, and you can get access if you just put your, in fact what I'll do is I'll just get a screwdriver down into the plug. So if I try my best to get a screwdriver down there, I said this was the easiest one, didn't I? So screwdriver, hopefully I'm filming this alright. The screwdriver, there we go. So you can see that just by going straight to there, our bulb is no longer lit up. That means that this coolant pump here is our short to ground. So I'm just going to show you what I mean, because I never managed to catch that because the plug came off quite brutally. So if I plug this back in, you can see our short to ground comes back, lights up nice and bright, and that is just by plugging that back in. You'll not be able to see down there, but if I plug that back in, that is a short. So sometimes it is as simple as that to find a short to ground. Just by having the diagrams there helps a hell of a lot. So if you've not got the diagrams, you could be on that for hours and you still might not even find it. So we know that our short to ground is in that electronic coolant pump, so we'll need to get one of them ordered. However, what we're going to do is put a 5 amp fuse back in its place, a known good 5 amp fuse, and see if those fault codes will clear, and that should leave us with the coolant pump that we've unplugged. So we're now back in the car and we're going to go into our page again. We have put a 5 amp fuse in its place with that coolant pump disconnected. So if we go into read DTCs, you can see that's actually perfect, because you can see that it's changed from passive and you've still got one charge air cooler pump. charge air coolant pump, sorry, that is active, so we know that the pump that we've disconnected is this one here. Obviously there'll be a couple on this engine, but you can see all of the other faults. Apart from that, the cylinder head coolant valve short circuit to ground. Let's see if that comes back. So we'll go into read DTC. Yep, so that one's not came back, but we've got charge air cooler coolant pump control circuit open, and we'll just do another read on that. That's fine, we'll just recycle the ignition, and we are left with the charge air cooler coolant pump. So it's a bit of a short video, but it's always worth a watch. We know that that charge air cooler coolant pump needs replaced. Once that's replaced, we will obviously plug it back in and we'll have no further shorts. So basically, that fuse was blown due to one component that was failing and shorting it out. And in turn, that was obviously causing all these other faults with oil pressure, regulator valves and so on. So because they're on a shared circuit, it's obviously a shared fuse. Once one of them goes down, it will take the rest of them down with it. So a rather easy fix. So thanks for watching. As always, the link for the Top Don X link will be in the description, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.